It is always sad to see developers and publishers take to social media and attack potential customers, and that is exactly what is happening with Team Kill Media and Code Violet right now. They were supposed to be launching this game soon, but they decided they were going to hold back on a PC launch because they didn't want people to mod their lead character and over-sexualize her, even though they're offering up lingerie skins and showing off her assets in teasers and trailers, and they are blocking anybody calling out their hypocrisy. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, yes, I do believe the developers should be able to control where they sell their game and what they put in their game, and they should be able to create whatever content they want, but they do not have the right to attack potential customers, and they really do not have the right to melt down and try to say that you are a terrible person for wanting your character to look a certain way and for her to be dressed in a certain way when they themselves are doing what they are attacking people over. Now, this is a game that has had a little bit of hype behind it. I actually thought that it looked pretty cool. While, yes, it maybe doesn't look like the highest level of quality out there, it's supposed to have survival gameplay, action, horror, combat. They talk about the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback system. I thought that it actually looked pretty interesting, pretty neat, something that I maybe would have picked up, but I definitely know now that my wallet is safe from purchasing this because they are freaking out on social media over anybody criticizing them. So this game faced a little bit of controversy back in January because they didn't want anyone over-sexualizing their character or creating vulgar mods. So their full statement was, for those asking us about the PC version of Code Violet, the reason we are not bringing it to PC is we do not want anyone modding vulgar versions of the main character as well as other characters in the game. We hold our voice actresses and actors with high regard, as well as our artistic vision for the game and story, and reject any form of destroying that with sexual mods. Making a joke out of our art and possibly tarnishing the reputation of our voice actresses and actors is not worth the extra money we can make. Now, first of all, Team Kill Media is saying that modding your game is destroying it. It is destroying their original artistic vision, and basically you should not be able to edit their game, and it would be fine if they just said, yeah, we're not the biggest fans of over-sexualizing characters if they weren't doing it themselves, because if you take a look at what was offered in their digital deluxe edition, well, guys, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. We are talking about straight up lingerie. We are talking about Mortal Kombat-esque skins here. We're talking about these office sirens. I think that a lot of these outfits actually look cool. I have no problems with the outfits itself. The issue is the hypocrisy. You are saying gamers should not be over-sexualizing your characters when you are literally doing it yourself. Now, since we are pretty close to release, there's a lot of marketing out there. They have released a lot of teasers and trailers, so I can't show them all. But in just this single one alone that was posted 2 days ago, they clearly are highlighting all of the characters' assets in all of their glory. And it would be fine if their mentality was, sexy sells. We love beautiful women. We want you to appreciate our female character's physique. But on one hand, they're saying, oh, it's okay to market our game with sex appeal, but it's not okay that you appreciate the sex appeal via things like mods. It's just not fair at all whatsoever, and it makes them look extremely hypocritical, which is why I think that they were facing so much backlash and why they're going to continue to, because they had made this really long post about hateful gamers, and they deleted it, but they were blocking anybody criticizing them. We have deleted the post that offended a certain group of very hateful people. We don't typically delete our posts because we don't believe in cowering to the mob. We remain unaffected by the hate we have received over the years. We invest our own money and time into our games. Like us or hate us, we focus on the positive. However, it has now become absolutely unacceptable. Certain individuals are attacking the actress. They say that everyone should come together to appreciate her and not try and chase her out of a bright future in games, where maybe one day she could take the stage at the Game Awards and we remember fondly when we were shooting dinosaurs having a blast as the beautiful Violet. They also say that as a company, they have the right to choose how and where they sell their games. We have strived to answer public questions honestly, but when some disagree with our responses, they launch attacks. Others use our comments for rage bait, creating posts and videos to stoke controversy and profit from the hate. At this point, we are just never commenting on the garbage thrown at us, and if you do it on our page, you are getting blocked, which just goes to show how they are not willing to have a conversation. Because I had made a post saying you're going to punish an audience of gamers and not allow them to buy a game off a major platform because you're worried they'll over-sexualize your character, but the deluxe edition has lingerie. Well, it did before you removed the page, probably to damage control, and yes, you can no longer find the deluxe edition page online, but they could have clarified. They could have reached out and said, hey, Vara, we saw your post. We'd love to give you some more information. We'd love to have a conversation. I am always willing to have a conversation with anybody in this space, even if I don't like you. Even if Jason Schreier popped up tomorrow and unblocked me and said, I want to have a conversation, I would say, okay, that's perfectly fine. I'd roast him, but nonetheless, I'd have a conversation with him. Though, what did they do? Not even 5 minutes after this was posted, they blocked me. It just highlights how ridiculous these people are and how immature they're acting. They are saying that they do not want to sell their game on a certain platform. Okay, but they are taking to social media and acting as unprofessional as possible. And they did remove this post. So I have a feeling whoever this social media manager is got slapped on their wrist for it. They were told, no, you can't make posts like this. We don't have any other information. But either way, they are getting absolutely wrecked now for their hypocrisy. And really, they deserve it. Again, they could have come out, they could have clarified, they could have acted a little bit more professional. But instead, it's, oh, you're just profiting off of the hate. You're making videos and posts. You're taking our words out of context, and you guys are being extremely hateful. I wouldn't be making this video if you didn't blow up at customers, if you didn't tell people what they can and cannot do with their copy of their game, and you didn't say anybody that disagrees with what you're doing is hateful. I wouldn't have to sit here and make this. Savvy said that's actually insane. Good on you for bringing it up. What a weird thing they said. Should have just said that they didn't have the time to make it for 2 platforms. Companies like that are wacky. I personally believe that they have an undisclosed deal with Sony. I'm sure you all remember the Black Myth Wukong situation, but it released day 1 on PC and PlayStation 5 starting August 20th, 2024, and then they delayed the Xbox Series X and S version, but the Xbox version came out exactly 1 year later on August 20th, 2025. I personally believe that that is some sort of undisclosed console exclusivity deal. I think that that might be happening with Code Violet, but instead of just admitting that, they want to sit here and say that, oh, no, we just don't want people to mod our game in a specific way. Maybe that's a bit of a tinfoil hat theory, but I don't think I'm alone when I say I don't trust companies, and all of this seems a little bit suspicious to me. They're so effing gay. If the game would be interesting in itself, they wouldn't need to push outfits or promote it using that viewing angle. I don't actually think that the game looks terrible, but I also think that they are acting very big for their britches. They can't sell skins if you can just mod it for free. They just thought this was better PR to announce it. And yes, they need to make as much money as possible. They want to sell you more skins, but they could have approached this in a much better way, at least in my opinion. They blocked me too for pointing out that they live by the rule of do what I say, not what I do. They over-sexualize their own protagonists, but others are not allowed to. It's just stupid. I'm calling it they are not doing this to counter vulgar mods. They are doing it to monetize lewd costumes. They're going to learn the hard way how Rule 34 works. So they're worried about vulgar mods. Just wait until 4chan gets a hold of this. So yes, they have really dug themselves deep into this hole, and maybe they will come out and offer clarifications and potentially even apologize. But as of right now, their response has been extremely poor. They are blocking anybody criticizing them, and really this is just an extremely bad look for them. So I'll be keeping my eye on this situation and following it pretty closely closely. I'm curious to see maybe if they try to damage control. Only time will tell, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.